Hi, everyone. My name is Vivien Sharon, real estate broker with Sotheby's International Realty Canada, and I'm very excited today to welcome you to Series 2 of Coffee with Vivien Live. So today's episode is called, Why Does Giving Back Make Good Business Sense? And today we will be speaking to Jody Steinhauer, President and Chief Bargaining Officer of the Bargains Group. Jody has mobilized her award-winning discount, wholesale, and promotional products company to revolutionize the business landscape. So Jody is a tireless not-for-profit advocate and the founder of the national charity Engage in Change and its two initiatives, Project Winter Survival and Project Winter. So today we're going to talk about how she grew her wholesale business, the Bargains Group, to a multi-million-dollar per year business and the creation of the charitable social enterprise arm, Kids for Cause. So please bring any questions you have and leave them in the chat. But before we continue, let me tell you a little bit more about the series. In season 1, we covered many topics of interest: real estate, architecture, design, technology, the environment, culture, health, wellness, and more. And now we're in season 2, and we will be exploring more issues of interest, such as today's topic of business and philanthropy. Just to mention something very exciting this year, I was recently named in the local magazine, in the local, which is all over North America, and I was selected to be the Yorkville roving expert. So in addition to what I do in real estate, I go around hobnobbing in Yorkville and interviewing owners of businesses such as restaurants, Enigma Fine Dining, Dessert Lady making wonderful pastries and takeout dishes in Yorkville, Sophia, a fabulous Italian restaurant in the heart of Yorkville itself, Amal, which is a Lebanese fine dining restaurant in the Colonnade building, and so much more. So that you can see all of those little tidbits of Yorkville on my YouTube channel as well as Coffee with Vivien today. So I also wanted to mention that I've recently written a book, which is on downsizing, the Boomer 7-Step Guide to Downsizing. You can obtain it digitally by downloading viviensharon.com/book. and learn all the things you need to know if you know of someone thinking of downsizing in the future. And it's also available on Amazon in hard copy. So today, let's talk to Jody Steinhauer. She is a winner of many awards, including the top Canadian Woman Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Canada's top 40 under 40, a Profit W100 recipient, and Toronto Regional Board of Trade Business Leader of the Year. These are past awards she's received, and I'm sure she's going to get many more going forward. So here is a summary of her bio. She's the founder of the Canadian award-winning discount wholesale and promotional product company, the Bargains Group, and she uses her network of resources and leverage buying power to aid every community and nonprofit agency that she touches to maximize their buying dollar, and she is dedicated to the community and helping others in need. So finally, welcome, Jody.
Hi, Vivien. Hi, everybody.
Great to see you. So today we're going to talk about 3 topics. The first one is building a discount wholesale business, the business model of wholesale. Second, brand promotion, the importance of brand recognition for businesses, both large and small, and why giving back to the community makes sense, and brokering goodness. So Jody, let's do a quick photo op. Let's hold our coffees.
I'm going to hold you too.
Oh, making shit happen. And the second one is the Bargains Group. Okay, wonderful. And this is my Aboriginal cup of coffee, my mug, which is perfect for this for where we're at today in history. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin. Jody, can you tell us a little bit about how you started your business? How did you nurture it, and how did it develop?
Right. So my background is actually fashion and business, and I was always in love with shopping, shopping, and shopping. And I loved a bargain. And we're going back 35 years ago. We did not have Winners. We did not have Dollarama. We didn't have discount stores back then. And I went to fashion school and I graduated. And when I graduated, I went to New York City and worked at Guess Jeans. And I had a real challenge with the values and morals of the fashion world and my personal values. So I got reintroduced to a discount wholesaler, and I started to run his division. And I sold to stores all over Canada, bargains. And as I always say, opportunities happen. He unfortunately went bankrupt due to a bad business decision, but I made him all his money. So he asked me to go next door and he would set me up in a new venture because he had to go bankrupt. I looked at that and said, well, why don't I just open up my own business? Because I am the business. And why don't I make, 100% of the profits? I had very little risk. I wasn't married. I didn't have a mortgage or a home at the time. And I knew what I could do would be really successful. So that's how the Bargains Group was born. And I started out of my 2-bedroom rented apartment. I used to say I was sleeping with my inventory, and within 2 weeks, I was forced to go out and start dealing with real estate agents and finding a place to call home.
So tell us, though, this is a wholesale business, the business model, and the products that you deal with. So can you explain to everybody, like, how does this business model work? What is it you do exactly? Because I don't know that people understand.
Yeah, well, wholesale is just basically selling multiples of products to retailers or people, or even these days to Amazon, to people who are going to sell it to the end user. But I have a very unique business. It's actually a discount wholesale business. So I go globally now around. I go to factories, I deal with manufacturers, I deal with importers, I deal all over the world, and I buy very large volumes. 5 minutes before this call, I just bought 60,000 pairs of magic gloves. And I buy everything up, and then I have to pre-package it, pre-sort it, put it into the right size package, and then sell it to whether it be retailers across the country or resellers who are reselling it, or it could be charities and not-for-profits, or it could be donors if you're supporting a charity and they're doing a drive at your office or you're a school and you want to buy things to donate. You want to come to me. You don't want to shop retail. So that's the basic model of wholesale distribution. You're getting it. We buy very large volumes at very low prices, and then we resell it to people so that they have products in their stores. And right now it's a very difficult challenge due to global supply shortages all over the world.
So where do you source your products? I mean, you figure out what is needed, and what are the type of products that really sell and are in demand, and where do you find them?
So I am not selling fashion. I am selling basic everyday necessities. So I'm selling things. My father was an accountant, is an accountant, I should say. And he always used to say, Jody, if you lose it in your warehouse for 5 years and you can still turn around and sell it again at a profit, that's the business you want to be in. And very, very wise man. So I sell everything. The 2 biggest commodities I sell are socks and underwear. The next commodities, especially at this time of year, I probably have almost 1 million pairs of winter gloves, from a magic glove all the way up to a brand name high-end ski glove. But a high-end ski glove at the Bargains Group, which would be $30 to $40 at a store, at a department store, is the maximum ski glove I have here is $8. So it's really, really true bargains. So we like to say you can, make $1 at the Bargains Group turn into $4 at retail. We also do hygiene products, bedding and linen. And in hygiene, we do hotel size for homeless shelters and programs, but we do full size for everyday people too. Bedding, linen, At this time of year, we supply all the toy programs, Toy Mountain, firefighters, things like that across the country. We supply prisons, jails. We supply people who want to give gifts to clients and want them to think they spent a lot of money.
Jody, but I think it's so interesting, but we have your website. We're going to bring it up right now, the Bargains Group, and guide us through so we have a visual of your products.
So if you go to bargainsgroup.com, at the very top right bar, you'll see it says wholesale items. If you click on the wholesale items right there, you'll see an index page of all of the different things we carry. So I kind of say, if you can buy it in a Walmart or a dollar store, check with us first. But we also offer a service. So for example, right now, I'm an expert in homelessness, and great news is the homeless are getting some housing, not enough, but some. So for example, I'll deal with a program that's doing transitional housing kits. Yesterday, I had to find 250 toaster ovens for some starter apartments for homeless people who are moving from the streets to get their own apartment. And on top of that, I have to do shower curtains. And you think about doing your first apartment or your first home, that starter kit. We did PPE during COVID in the beginning for the government, for all the old age homes and homeless shelters and first responders. So other than food, you can probably find it. And if you don't see it on the website, send us an email. We can either tell you where to get it cheaper or get it for you. We're really that one-stop shop.
So you were supplying bulk items to end users, and your end users are?
Our end users could be a retail store, right? It could be a huge division is homeless shelters and charities and not-for-profits across Canada, who then purchase it and then give it out to their clients. And right now, it's a huge amount of people, companies and individuals who want to do philanthropy and people aren't comfortable anymore writing a check or sponsoring a golf tournament for a charity. Yeah. They want to see where their donations are going. So millions of them are coming to us and saying, hey, we want to do socks, but we don't want to buy them. So how much will $100, how many pairs of socks can I get for $100? And can you ship it to Calgary Women's Center? So we do a lot of that.
So a lot of your work is across Canada.
Oh yeah, we ship across Canada 3 times a day.
How big is your team?
Well, this time of year, it fluctuates every day. We have a core group of about 30 people. We have to be very careful because of COVID, because, we had to stay open 7 days a week because we supply the most vulnerable. When you read the news and you hear about the encampments and all of these places that are just having challenges, we're supplying all the supplies to them, either through agencies helping, the government, or personal donors.
Wow.
But we deal with temporary people all the time. We just have to be very careful with COVID restrictions that we're keeping people away from each other and space. I mean, it's a real challenge for everybody. But there's people who are in crisis and desperately need our work. We also do disaster work. So when there's a fire or there's a disaster, when you hear it anywhere in Canada, Fort McMurray was probably one of the largest ones.
Yes.
When right now the Indigenous communities have just gone through flooding season and they have to evacuate them. So we'll get called from the Red Cross or the Salvation Army to deploy all the supplies, including, baby strollers and diapers. And imagine if you just had to flee your home, what would you need? And if you think about that, that's what the Bargains Group supplies.
So you get the word out in a big way. I mean, for people to know about you. Are you unique in this field in Canada?
We're in North America. Yeah, we're in the States now too. And there's nobody like us. And really the way we get the word out is it's really word of mouth. I started this company 33 years ago. And really it's about doing good work, being consistent, like in any business, having a good reputation. And, I always say over delivering and under promising. And we also have huge donation programs for charities. So that's another thing. Every time a charity or a donor deals with us, we have massive warehouses filled with free product that we distribute with every single transaction.
Wow. Well, you have built an incredible business. I cannot believe over 33 years, Jody. Looking at you, it's just impossible to believe that you have done this. And you must pinch yourself to believe that you have created such a valuable, important, and profitable business for you, and for
I mean,
helping other people.
I'm very grateful. I mean, I think I'm very lucky that I get to go to work every single day and help people. And as bad as, we all have really bad days, and especially during COVID, it's been really dark for all of us. I still get up in the morning and say, it's okay. People need me, I need my company. And I go to sleep at night, if I sleep, and say, wow, like what did I do today that really made an impact and a difference? And that's really rewarding. I mean, that's what keeps me going in the darkest times. And as a mother, it's really interesting to see how your kids through osmosis evolve into that kind of environment they've been grown up in.
So your kids, you're role modeling to your family, to your children. They see what you're doing. When they're available, I'm sure they might help you and pitch in and learn what you're developing, what you've grown.
And they don't think of it as anything else other than, well, yeah, of course you do that. We were down and getting some of them ready for university, and there was a kid who didn't have a lot of things. So my son pulled me aside and said, when you go to the grocery store, can you buy some extra stuff for that person across the hallway? I said, no problem. So, that's what makes me proud. When you can have that influence on people around you, or, during COVID, when things were really tough. And I mean, my people were working 20-hour days, right? And two of my employees came to me one day and said, we just want to thank you for always being there to make a difference and for employing us, right? Like, all of my friends have been laid off and I can still come to work, have good mental health because I'm associating with people and know that I'm making a difference every day. And those are the things that really, make me want to do more.
Absolutely. So a question about, let's say, define yourself. Are you a businesswoman or a philanthropist?
I say I'm a broker of goodness. That's really what I say. I love bringing people together. I'm like that help desk, because when somebody's like, how do we do that? Or I'm not really sure, someone will say, call Jody. And that's what I love doing.
And do you have a value proposition?
We do have one, but we really have just redefined our core values. I would go by that. And our 3 core values, they're on the wall behind me. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, show us them. Yeah.
It says, we consciously care. And in brackets, it says, we really give a shit. We are community builders, and we make a positive impact. And every decision that every single person in my company makes is based on those 3 core values. And if they come with a problem to the management team, we say, what do you think? And it's really been incredible how that's guided us in the last 18 months.
That's terrific to hear. And I just wanted to ask you about this aspect of it. A lot of corporations just like to write a big check once a year for whatever reasons, tax related or otherwise. And your model is that your business is constantly engaged in active philanthropy.
Right.
Do you believe that corporate Canada should be more engaged in hands-on, ongoing philanthropy to help others rather than just writing a check?
We could have a very long conversation about that. I think that there's definitely charities who need large checks for capital campaigns. So if you think about a local shelter and the roof is collapsing, right? They need money to hire a roofing company if they can't get it donated. So they need money to pay staff. A lot of people don't realize that charities are paid employees. They're really just businesses, right? So I think that there, of course, is money needed, but where I've come in to make a difference through our social enterprise kits for a cause is corporate Canada is really looking to engage their employees and their customers. And that's where things are different. So I think it's a matter of, if they have a lot of money to give, write a check for the assets that they need.
Right.
They need money for housing. We need to get people, you're in real estate, how tight that market is. We need to get homeless people housed. We can't change society without a roof over people's head.
How is this going to happen? I mean, you everywhere you go, and in the summer in parks and gardens and on the street and where I live, Midtown and so on, you see so much homelessness. I don't know if it's more than in the past, but it's certainly very
it's more, and it's going to get worse. And it's homelessness. There's a solution. That's the really great thing. There is a solution, but the solution only starts when either government isn't selling off properties to developers all the time, because a lot of the core buildings that were rooming houses that were near, and you don't just need a home, you need access to social services, right? So you can't put somebody, 3 hours away and tell them to take the bus to their social worker. That's not going to happen. So we need to recognize that these are communities, and when you build these communities, there's amazing success. COVID has actually accelerated the government doing something about it, because that's the good news. Because in a homeless shelter, if someone gets COVID, they either have to close or they have to cut their beds in half because they need to have protocol. So, if they can give business people incentives to turn buildings into rooming houses or multi-tenant facilities, that would really help. But everybody's in a business. I'm in business, right?
I'd love to see you getting involved in government lobbying and with the mayor. Is that something you're going to?
I sit on. I'm kind of one. I would much rather be behind the scenes. I've sat on the mayor's advisory task force, and I do a lot of that quietly, because I'll say what's really happening out there. Nobody's going to fire me or muzzle me. So I do a lot of that. I mean, things like taking a plot of land and building tiny homes or container homes. We need high density housing in conjunction with supportive services. And that goes with every city across Canada, right? I just heard up north in Muskoka this week that they sold a homeless shelter, the only homeless shelter, to Deerhurst Resort to staff some of their employees. That didn't make it to the news, right?
No.
That is horrible. That is bad business.
Jody, I think
where are these homeless people going? You know where they're going? The government doesn't know what to do, and they don't want to ruin the land value in Muskoka, so they're putting them up in motels.
Yeah.
Which is better, but that's not a long-term solution.
Yeah, I've heard about this motel solution in the province, but I think you have so much to offer and so much insight and experience. Hopefully, you're going to be able to be very active and influential in that area that we're talking about.
I have a big voice, but unfortunately, I don't control the purse strings. And I also think it would be great for developers to say, hey, I'm a business person. Let's be very clear. I'm a capitalist, right? But if the developers and the government say, hey, we'll give you this land, but you have to promise to do 20% of it in affordable housing, either here or another thing. I mean, that's really what we need. That's all we need. There's just the waiting lists are beyond. So, and it's also awareness. I mean, through our social enterprise Kits for a Cause, where we can teach you how to kind of come out and pack a kit, we subliminally pepper in education. So we teach people, we tell people the stories about why are people like you and me homeless? Vivien, I've known you for years. You'd be shocked at a couple of the people over the last year that I would tell you that that are now homeless because of bad luck, losing a job, health issue, divorce. There's a whole, you see all these issues. Well, eventually, some of them end up being homeless.
Circumstance, very unfortunate circumstances. Let's talk about Kits for a Cause, the arm of your business, of your main business, the Bargains Group. We're going to show your website, Kits for a Cause.
Thank you.
And let's discuss it.
Yeah, Kits for a Cause is kind of my new baby, my new venture, and really excited. It's actually a movement. It's a Canadian movement. We actually are in the United States. And what happened is I started a charity 22 years ago called Engage and Change. And I brought people together who, like me, cared about the community, didn't want to write a check, but wanted to do something. And we packed kits at these 2 massive events a year, and we donated them to over 200 shelters. And it was such a success with the business world. And people wanted to bring their employees. People wanted to bring their families. And to give you an idea of scale, the winter event, we give out $500,000 worth of survival kits. And in the summertime, we give out 450,000 bottles of water and summer survival kits. So I was about 2 decades ahead of my time when it came to corporate social responsibility. That it didn't even exist. Social enterprise didn't exist. And about 6 or 7 years ago, people started calling me and saying, I want to do what you do. So I had to make a decision. Do I take my charity to every community across the country? And I said, no, it's not sustainable. I will replicate it in a sustainable, high growth, scalable model. That's what Kits for a Cause is. So whether you're a company of 6,000 people and you want to do a virtual kit pack these days on a Zoom call across the country, or you're a family of 2 people and you want to do it on your dining room table, everything's possible. You pick a cause. It could be cancer, Alzheimer's. A lot of it is poverty related. We've just gone through back to school. There's so many communities where children don't have the money to buy back to school supplies.
I just want to interrupt here only because I want to show what I've studied before, like on your website, we can scroll down and we can show you.
These are some of the kits
here. What are some of the kits here you can talk about that you prepare?
So the biggest ask we get from charities. So charities come to us because right now you can't volunteer at a charity because of COVID. So charities are desperate for opportunities for people who want to volunteer there. So they send them to us to do a Kits for a Cause kit pack to donate back to them. Businesses are starving because they want to engage their employees and they want to give back. So we teach them how to survey your employees and find out, is it a children's organization or a charity you're involved with? Is it homelessness? Is it a new mama kit? Is it a back to school kit? Is it a cancer care kit? Is it a health kit? We just did a huge one this week for one of the hospitals who were doing a thank you kit for their COVID employees. So we can make up any type of kit at very discounted prices, and the services and the consulting and the how do you do it and all the information and plans are free. That's the social enterprise. We give everything away for free. An amazing woman named Lauren Ott runs this division.
Wow.
And on the other hand, donors. I mean, if you are looking for something to do and you don't want to write a check, you want to do something. I call it active philanthropy. You can do this. We've had 11-year-old kids contact us and say, I want to do something. And what you don't see here, because it hasn't been put on the website, is the most exciting part. We've just created a wish list program where we'll give you a wish list for a charity, like a bridal registry. You can share it on social. And when anybody sponsors something on that, you get a tax receipt. And you sure don't get a tax receipt when you go and buy socks or gloves for a charity at Walmart or a dollar store. So that's going to take it to the next level because we just want to include everybody in this giving back. And look at these pictures you see. Like this was an event we did for 6,000 employees before COVID. This is before COVID. And the great thing is with COVID, there's all different models. People are starving to volunteer because we're all really affected by what's going on. And mental health is a huge issue for everybody. But we all know that when you do good for somebody, whether you smile at them or you write a check or do a kit pack, it feels great. So this is a great way of helping all of our mental health and doing good and making impact in the community at the same time.
So your model of brokering goodness has really worked in the community with the kits being packed, engaging employees and helping charities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the statistics that are coming out of the next few weeks on our website, millions and millions of products in a short period of time have been donated. And the best thing is we don't do any advertising. We don't do any sales. It's only Google and people finding us because there's nobody like us. And there are armies of people looking to help. The biggest problem is there's a little video on our website and people are like, every day we get minimum 10 calls, that little video, if you get a chance to watch it. And people are like, oh my God, we found you.
Very Very good. Well, we'll definitely offline take a look at that. And I think you've got an amazing business model and community model that everybody, can only learn from. And if people Google you, what would they be Googling?
Well, they can Google Bargains Group, they can Google my name, they can Google Kits for a Cause. They will find us, and we will be happy to help them.
That's amazing. And I want to ask you a question, a surprise question.
Okay.
Where does your entrepreneurial passion come from?
That is a surprise question. Great question. I always have been different. I've always kind of danced to a different drum. And I think I've been very fortunate that I've also been raised by a family that, quite frankly, wasn't a very coddling family. So I was, if I wanted to do anything, I just had to go out there and do it. And I did. But I also love helping people, whether as a young child helping somebody with their homework, or a fellow person, hold a baseball bat the right way. And I really just think that it comes from that sense of freedom. And I was brought into a family of professionals that I looked at their lives and said, I don't want to be having to do what I'm told I have to do. I want to do what I want to do. And it's all about, I say to my kids, I don't care what you do, just be happy and be excited to do it every single day. And that's what fuels me, finding happiness every day. And I always say, when you're not happy, the only person who can change that is you. Yeah. And I've gone through many changes in my life, but it's all been on the journey of happiness and fulfillment and really making an impact. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. And the last thing I want to ask you is, what direction do you see your business going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, it's really exciting. We are very late to the game of e-commerce and resellers, only because I have so many people constantly wanting to buy product from me. It's a whole other kind of business model. And I sell to a lot of people who sell on Amazon and sell on, these marketplaces. So our next, I am not getting any younger. So our next big division that will be in 2022 is I'm going to start to look for someone to run everything so I can do what I do best, broker more goodness. And we're going to go into e-commerce in a huge way and bring more philanthropy and donors together in really like an Uberized business model. We all want to give, we all want to help, but if we want to do it in about less than 5 minutes. So we figured that out, and that's what we're doing. And I love teaching businesses how to do it, and I love charities how to do it, and really educating how we can make a bigger impact as a global community, because that's what's really needed, and it's not sadly getting better.
So 2022 will be an exciting new venture for you and a new arm division in your business.
Yep. Every year I think is an exciting and a new arm, but yes, we're very blessed that we can constantly reinvent ourselves. And the biggest challenge we have is great people. So if you need bargains, if you want to do philanthropy, or if you know great people, please reach out and contact me.
So Jody, my question is, where is your head office located?
We're in North Toronto, Dufferin and Lawrence area, and we have warehouses here. And then we've got people also working remotely, but everything basically gets shipped out of this hub, and we have storage facilities. I mean, we buy a lot, especially now. I've never had so much inventory because there's huge global shortages. So for the last 2 years, I've been buying everything I possibly can on the market because there's massive shortages. So we have to have inexpensive real estate, which is very difficult in a city of Toronto. But that's where everything gets shipped out of this hub.
And how can people help?
How can they help? Well, depending if they want to help their local charity, or they want to help their company or their family get involved, you can always just contact us. If you want, I mean, really just spread the word. I mean, please join the social media of Bargains Group, Kits for a Cause, and the charity Engage and Change. We post lots of stuff. Share. If you ever hear anybody doing anything for a charity, say, do you know Jody?
Okay.
Just spread the word.
That's great. I think that what you said today summarized such a huge mammoth business that you have grown in over 30 years to more divisions and more enterprises, and unique in Canada, unique in North America. You should really, be so proud of what you've developed and grown.
Thank you.
It's been really interesting, and anybody who wants to learn more, please look up Jody Steinhauer, thebargainsgroup.com and kidsforacause.com, and she'll be happy with her team to help you, your charity, your cause.
Great.
So that ends our episode for today. I'd like to thank Jody for joining us today. And in the next episode of Coffee with Vivien, which will be in 2 weeks on Wednesday, October the 13th at 12 noon, we will feature Leron Daniels, who is the owner of a large Canadian property management company, who will discuss condo living and everything you need to know from a property management and owner's point of view. So that's it for today. And you can follow this series on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, on my website, viviensharon.com/live. And you can reach me on my website as well as by email, viviensharon@sothebysrealty.ca. So please like this video, have a comment if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.